Okay, yeah, hello everyone, good morning. My name is Sarabjeet, and this is the first time I'm doing this YouTube live, and let's see how it goes. So we know there are going to be a lot of glitch over here and there, but just bear with me. Okay, so let me introduce myself. I'm Sarabjeet. This is my website. You can just go there. I haven't updated much here. I just created this site 2 days back with Gatsby, so just to put it up there, that's only. So I will update it soon. Okay, so you can contact me on Twitter, on GitHub, Dribble, and you can send me an email also. So I'm doing software development since past 7-8 years, and like nowadays I'm working mainly on front end and primarily on Reactjs. So today we will be discussing about how to getting started with React.js and to host it your application using Netlify and other. And let me introduce what Devtalks is. Basically, this is our Devtalks website. This is nothing over there, just a logo, nothing else. We are hopefully we will update it soon. So Devtalks is just a platform, and we are starting with YouTube videos starting from today. So I just want you all to just support us, just subscribe to our channel so that we can do more of these kind of videos. And Devtalks is a platform where we do online meetups. We used to do physical meetups before, but like because of the pandemic, we are just sitting at home and doing the online meetups only. So we are trying to do it every Saturday to like connect with you all and do this meetups very oftenly. Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, so React.js, I hope you all are aware of. Let me see how many people are there. I don't know how to see how many people are there. Okay, 17. Okay, great, enough of it. Okay, so now 18. Yeah, so hey everyone, so I'm hoping you all know about React.js to some extent. It is a front-end library that we can use to create the applications these days, and I hope you all know a little about React.js, and because nowadays everyone is on like having courses on Udemy purchased and going through it, so I'm not going to be in much detail about the what is component and what is JSX and all that stuff. Just a high level overview what is React.js, and then we will start digging into the code and creating some functionalities. Okay, so shall we proceed? Hi all. Hi Surinder. Oh no, I don't know how to cope up with live chat and without distracting with it. Okay, so this is their official website, reactjs.org. You can just go there, and they defined a very well about what React and all of its concepts. So let's dig into it. So the first thing is the component. So in React.js, everything is a component. So like when we start developing our front-end applications with React, so first we need to understand what a component is and how we can divide a bigger UI into smaller components. Please start with some basic knowledge. Okay, yeah, sure, Rajan. So I'm just going through this page, and then definitely I will be explaining what all of the concepts, but not in much detail. Okay. Okay, so a component in React.js looks something like this. You can see this code over here, and the result is looks something like this. So you can see this looks like some HTML, and we are not creating this only for this Hello Taylor app, but like to more functionality we can do. So this is just an example. So you can see by writing this code we will get this kind of output in our browser, and this is a simple component let's go to the next one. And next one, this is a stateful component, and so you can see code is something similar, but we have some new things included here, like this constructor tick and all. So this is how we create state in our component. Will this live stream will be saved? Yeah, Sachin, this will be saved, so you can check this out later as well. Like I started recording, but I don't know if it's saved or not. Seriously, this is the first time I'm doing, so I'm not sure about it. Okay, and this is how we create a state in our component, and to update this state we just call this.setState method. Okay, so just let me know, shall I explain the state and component also, or shall I just skip this part? What is state here? Okay, let me just define state. Yeah, okay, so in a React component, state, there's a like I know I just had a topic covered in the past, the state versus props. So in React.js, a state is like what the component will look like in some particular state. For example, if I take a general example, for example, we have water, and for water we have different state of water. For example, liquid is a state of water and solid is another state of water, to whom we call ice, right? So that is a state of the water. So similarly, on our React component we have different states. Okay, so and our component, for example, this hello Taylor over here, or let's see this state one. So this you can see this millisecond. So the current state when it started, it was 0, and it's being on updated, and it is showing the latest state of that component in the browser. Okay, so to create a state in a class component, we just use this .state method, and inside that your state will always stay as an object, and inside an object you can have like key value pair of strings, array, or everything. It also have props. Okay, let me discuss that as well. So props are inherited from the parent component, so that are also similar to state. They also have some data in it, but they are controlled by the parent component. So parent component can able to control the child's behavior, so they can send a different type of props and the component will render accordingly. Okay, and to update a state in a component we use this .setState method, and you can see this .setState method here is accept a function, and in that function the first parameter is the previous state. So for example, here it will have this object and it will return a new object. So in our case we are repeating that seconds, and we're just adding +1 second in it. And after that, sorry about that, sorry. And after that we have component lifecycle methods. So these are available with the stateful component. So these are the lifecycle of our component. So this lifecycle means what it means. So for example, let's take a general example. In like for a lifecycle of a human being is like, first we are child, then we become teenagers, then we become adults, then we become old, and then we die. That is a life cycle of a human living being. So similarly, a component's life cycle is when the component mount initially in your page, and it will shows in your page for some time, and after that it disappear from your page. So that is see how relatable it is. So this component methods, I don't know, like we should discuss this in a detail, because now with hooks sometimes we are not using it much, but we should aware of what are those. So there are many, but primarily 3. The first, when your component enters into your view, and second, when it stays in your view but got updated. State is what your current mood. It's may vary from happy to sad, assuming you are the component. Yeah, nice, Rajan. Okay, so component did mount is called whenever your component enters in your view. So like whenever we enter this particular screen, so this started because now you can see it is keep on updating, and this one is because of component did mount. We update a set interval over here, so like in every 1 second it is keep calling this function, and it will update the state of this seconds here. And then we have component did update, which it doesn't use in this example. So that what it does is when the component got new props or new state and we want to perform something, then we use that lifecycle method. And the last one is like when the component will leave your view. So as we know, we have a garbage collector in JavaScript. Whenever we run, and the garbage collector keep on removing the things from the memory whenever we are not using it. So the timeout, interval, these are the functions that we need to remove manually. Our garbage collector cannot decide when to remove that, so we just clear those intervals when we remove the component from the view. Garbage collector, we just used a term here, so that is like a method of JavaScript engine. So how it clears the memory, you can read about it more, or that is not a part of this talk. Okay, and then we have a render method. So this render method, whatever we return in this will show in our view. I think that much it for the different use of function. Okay, and let's move ahead. And next, they just created a complete application, a to-do application. Let me refresh it to just remove the previous one. Okay, so this is a complete example of a to-do application. You can see in just a few lines of code we created a to-do application. Okay, so it has a different states and method. I'm not sure, shall we discuss this all in a detail? But yeah, let's do it. So in our view, you can see if we do not use React by default, it is very tedious with JavaScript to manage a simple application like to do. So you can see we had a heading, then we have an input, and what functionality we need over here is when we type something and when we click on this button, we just append it to an li item. Li it is used here, right? So it uses another component. Okay, so we just need to append it to an li. So whenever I change something in it, let's say my introduction is introduction to React. This is my first task, and it should listen to all of this on change, and when I click on this button, it should append that to a list item, intro to state, right? So you can see it is being appended over here, and we also have this number is increasing based on that. So let's see how they just did it. So this is JSX, they just mentioned a h3 tag. This to-do list is a different component. So this is how we render another component inside another component, and they have a form, and inside that form we have an input field, and that input field has value and on change. So in value we pass the value of the state. So by default we initiate the state with the blank text string, and that we pass to value. And whenever we add something over here, for example I add a here, so it fires an on change event which calls this function handle change. So this handle change function, where it is? It's there. So in handle change function, they are just updating the state with whatever text we added in that. You can see how easy it is to bind a function with an input with React. Okay, so it updated the state and it updated the value, and this component got re-rendered and this value got updated with the new text. And similarly, this button, when we click on this button, this form on submit function is fired, and in handle submit function here, in handle submit we are checking the length of the text. If it is not equal to 0, then we are only passing it, and then we update our state with that new array. So it increase this array size, this one. This is how this is done. And next example is using an external plugin, and just go through it, read the code, and this is just a simple overview of React application. So it is all about a component, a state, and a prop, and then you can just mix match all of that, add more plugins, and you can create any kind of UI with that. Okay, so but before like if you are starting your career, so like you are a fresher and you just want to learn React.js to like get a job or something, but I just recommend before just go into React, you just need to read this article as well, like thinking in React.js. So like because like if you are for example a backend guy, you work on servers on backend PHP, Node.js a lot, and now you want to work in front end, but front end is like builds differently than backend to some extent. So just read this article once. Sorry. So they just mention like how to think in React. So whenever you start working on React, what are the steps you should take care of? Okay, so let's discuss this also, because I just want everyone to go through this once, because this is something if we do not use React also we should do this. So because as a team you are not going to work on any project individually, you might be working with some other backend person as well, so you both are working together. So if you are like following this approach, it will help you to collaborate even better and to like deliver a product very fast. Okay, so they said start with the mock first. What is a mock? Mock is a simple JSON response of an API. So let's go through this example once. For example, if we need to create a search bar like this, which will give us this kind of result, right? And you, the front end person and the backend person, both can sit together and discuss what is the JSON output that is going to be. Okay, so for example, you know what are the things you need over here. So you need a category, you need price, you need stocked, and you need name. So these four things you need in an array to create this search bar. Okay, so you can create this JSON at your end. So you can create a new file, for example goods.json, and the backend person can work on the PHP, work on whatever tools they are using. So creating the databases, creating the query, and returning the JSON. And in the meantime, using this JSON, you can start doing your front-end tasks. You don't need to depend on the API to whenever you get the API, then you can do. Or maybe you created something and the backend person creates something else. At the end, when he provides you API, it doesn't match what you did. So it's very important to just do this exercise beforehand to avoid confliction and to complete your task on time. Okay, so next thing is you break the UI into a smaller component hierarchy. Let's see that. Let's open a UI, some UI on Dribble maybe. Let's open a dashboard. Let me see the chat. What's going on? What's the difference between function and function? Okay. I think Rajan was expert in that. Yeah. Okay, so for example, you need to create a UI something like this. So before directly jumping to the code, just do some exercise beforehand. So for example, just like what we used to do in the previous days when I remember I started coding. So like my mentors asked me to do every HTML CSS first on your paper. So after that, dive into your code to start doing something, right? So similarly, in React also, when you start doing something, first have a look at this UI and just see what are the different components you can create. And one more principle is there for React.js components is they should be single responsibility principle they should follow. So that means every component should do one thing at a moment, right? So it should not do multiple things and just overcomplicated it. Okay, so if I talk about this UI, so we can make a different component for this logo over here, a different component for this text and this icon, and they both can grouped into one component, and that component can repeat it over, and then you can have a component for this icon, this text and this button. This all can be three different components, small atomic components, and they can all grouped into one component. And similarly here, this dashboard page title will be one component, this search icon will be one component, this date can be a different component. Okay, so this exercise, just do it before you jump into the code. Just take a UI and just divide all of your component, name those components, and I would suggest to do TDD also, but I do not want to discuss that in this session, so we'll come to that later some stage. Okay, and I for example, if I need to do some task for 6 hours, for example, so if I have some task I need to do in 3 to 4 hours, and I strongly recommend to maybe divide spend 40 to 50% of your time to do this kind of dividing the task and discussions beforehand, so that you will not create some buggy solutions at the end. So just plan things better. Okay, so this is done. So I think enough talking, let's go and do some action. Okay, so what do you need to start doing it? For that we have create React app CLI. Okay, that's also in this documentation. What does a CLI mean? CLI is just a command line interface tool. So it does provide you some boilerplate, so you do not need to configure everything yourself, because we need Webpack, Babel and lot many other stuff to start with developing any front-end application. But this create React app, it's a boilerplate. It will give you all of the tool well packed, so you can just focus on the code itself, not configuration. So let's see. Okay, meanwhile, do you guys have any questions so far? Let me see our chat. Okay, it's all about arrow functions. Okay, it's an arrow function similar to another function which has no name sometimes. Yeah, okay, so Poonam asked the difference between function and function. It's already jump into the okay, Tarun, thank you. Let me grab some water. this is a lecture from basics. I typically Jaswinder, I just want to start. Oh, my mic is stopped down. Okay. So Jaswinder, I just start with the introduction with that, and then we will go to deploy our application using Netlify. So yeah, so it is from basics, yeah, not in detail, but yeah. Okay, so create React app. It's a CLI tool to create a new application, and just add your name of the application, like my first app. And before running this, we need to have create React app installed on our system, but we can just skip that also. We just need to put npx before that. So npx is a command. With that we can use any CLI tool without installing that in our computer. So when we hit that, it will start creating a new application. Okay, they just naming restriction, I can't use capital letters here. Okay, we can create it anywhere, Rajan, because it is not based on Apache, so that we just need to Apache or XAMPP, that we need into public. I don't know what the folder is. Public HTML, I forgot. Oh no, it's like being 2-3 years I have used XAMPP. So yeah, because it runs on Node.js server, and we can put it anywhere, and we can start Node.js server from that directory, so no restriction. So meanwhile it is like installing, so you don't need to do anything, just run this command, it will install it, and after that you just need to start. I already did that part, so let me open the project. www. Okay, so this is what you get by default. It's loading. What is that? What is that? Oops, my system is getting slow. Why so? Just stopping this because I already have it. Okay, so this is something you will get by default, and if I look at the code, so this is what they give us: a node module directory where all our modules are, public directory, src, then gitignore, package.json, readme, yarn log. This is it, and we just need to go inside src folder and start work in this directory. Okay, so this is our real Reactjs code is. Outside is just supporting documents here and there that we need to have it. We can discuss those also later on. Okay, so in this src, this index.js is our entry point. So you can see some code boilerplate is over here, and we have React and React DOM. These two libraries you just need like in any application. So React is the core library, React DOM is a library, a DOM library to render your React application into DOM. And you can like for React native application also you must need this React, but you can just skip this React DOM because it's for browser DOM only. And then it has a CSS file, it import app from app.js here, then it has a service worker installed to run our application locally. Okay, and this is React DOM. So with React DOM it's rendering this, and by default it's run in a strict mode, and it's just rendering this app component here on the root directory, document.get element by id root. What does it? So we know this document.get element by id is used, this is a plain JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript, to get an id, So let's go into public folder to just see. So by default this is the index.html it provides us. It has a div with this id root, and what does this Reactome is do is that this render method accept two parameter. First is your application code, this one, and second the target where you want to host it. So it find this target on your root and then it bind this application over there. You can change this name to anything you want, and you can run multiple instance of React application as well on multiple roots. Okay, so that means, like, for example, if I don't know why my system is so slow. You can just do it on root 2 also, so it will run your application twice on those two different directories. Okay, so let's jump into app.js and see what code is there. Okay, so all of the code of that UI is here. This React logo, this text, this icon, this link. Okay, let me see what it is. Given by React, latest stable version. Can suggest how upgrade. Yeah, you can do with NVM version manager. This is not installed. Surinder, you just need to install NVM first. I think sudo apt install NVM maybe. If we delete all these files from src and create from scratch just with enter tcx enter.js, if there any effect or it will be the same. It will be the same, Poonam, but I do not recommend you to do that. Instead of that, your create React app also support TypeScript. So while creating your app, you can write create React app. I don't know what's the, I think hyphen TypeScript for that flag. So it will instead of these files, it will create tsx files. So and all of the TypeScript support is all of they put into Webpack. Okay, so let's continue. So this is your application. You can just change anything over here like this. Ionic, yeah, Ionic. Okay, let's see. It will update in our browser in real time. You can see the code got changed. Okay, so while getting that. Okay, so what should I create today? Let's discuss about the directory structure first. Okay, so in src folder, what I generally do and what most of the projects has is, like, you will have a components directory where you can put all of your components, and then there is a container directory, but I do not use that like now because I do not found it much relevant. You can have pages or views because that is what every page is meant in your page. For example, if we need a home page, about page, let's talk about a blog page. You will have a home page, something like this one. Let me share with you. So let's go to overreacted.io. I don't know how many people you know who is Stan Abramov. He is the one behind the Reactjs. So this is his personal blog, overreacted.io. So this is a blog website. You can see you have name of the blog, author name and information, and your all recent blogs are coming over here. And when you click on any blog, you will go into the detail page and you can see all of the blog. It's a very well blog. It's supposed to support markdown as well. So let's suppose we need to create something like this. So in this case we have two pages, one is home page and one is blog detail page. So that's why I just want to name this folder pages so that we can better relate it to. Okay, so let's create a file here. maybe homepage.js. Yeah, add it to Git. And first of all we need to import React from React, and then we create a component homepage. So this is a functional component. What we discussed before is a class component. Default homepage. So this is a simple React component, a functional component. You don't need a class. So this is how it looks like. So it should return something. So let's return something from it. Oops, power cut. Wow. Okay, so this is a homepage component which returns a p tag hello world. Okay, so instead of app, okay, let's go into app, import homepage from pages/homepage. Oops, what is it? Okay, so this is like, let's recap. So this is how I used to organize my components. I have components directory inside which I put components, and a pages directory in which I put pages. And in this pages also, some components are just unique to this page only, so they are not going to use in any other page. So I can just have a directory for home page. I think I will come to that later. So a directory for components, and I put components inside this as well. Okay, so let me just scrap all of this and just render home page. Okay, so in case you want to know how this import works, so this is just an import statement. We just need to tell him what we need to import and from where we need to import. This is the path, and this is the name of the module, a variable or method, so you can import it from there. Okay, so and this is how we render it. This is simply like, you can see this div we render, and we can, this is called self closing tag in HTML, and if you want to put something inside this, so you can use this method as well, simpler HTML. So we can put something inside this as well. Hello world. Okay, let's go to our page and see. Okay, yep, it got hello world, everything else is gone. Now we get hello world, but which hello world is this? This is not this one, this is this one. Okay, so one question here, where does this text goes? Let me put something else. By world. Okay, so let's see. It doesn't get that word because both are same. Now it different. We can see where does it goes. So this is looks like HTML, but it is not HTML. This is JSX, so it will not render anything that we put here. And to access this is put inside a prop. Okay, and to access this homepage component by default gets a parameter which is props. Okay, this is going to be an object only, and this props will get a key name children. So you can see now we got that text. So by default, whatever we put inside opening and closes tag, that will go inside that children prop. So we can put everything, anything. We can just put another component here. We can put a button here. Button, click me. It will enter the button over here. Okay, so this is a children prop. Okay, and this is our home page, And as I discussed, let's go here and just see what are the different components we need to build this page. So there is one title, user avatar, and user information, and then we have this list, which list contains one heading, date, and description, and this component to change the theme of this. Okay, so how I manage my components here are like, I used to have a directory with the name of the component, and inside this I can put everything related to this component. For example, first I will have the component itself, then I can have CSS of this component, and then I can have a test file of this component as well. I'm not going to cover the test, but yeah, so this is how it's going to be. So I'm just going to use a short boilerplate snippets, so it will give me this default one by default. Which code editor? This is WebStorm. This one. Okay, so it creates logo test. I don't want this name, I need only logo name. Okay, this is the logo, and inside that I will just, for now I will put logo, and in my home page I will import that component, import logo from outside this folder, inside components, inside logo, and inside logo. I can just delete that. I can use div tag, and I can render that component over here. Okay, so this is it. Let's see. Oops, it's got an error. Great. Let's go into this directory to see what is happened. Logo.js. Oops. Oh, sorry, I mistakenly put all the code in test file. Okay, so you can see we got the logo, and if I don't want this much long name over here and twice the logo, I will just create one more file in this logo directory, which is index.js, and it will default export from logo, default as, I just need to give a name here, and here I don't need this logo anymore, and I can wrap this in curly braces, and I will get this logo. Let's just discuss what I just did over here. So here this export, similarly import, this export command export something from this file. So what we tell this file to do is just export from this file logo the default value and name it as logo, and inside this, because now we are not importing default, we just need to wrap it inside curly braces, or else we can use it as maybe something like this, I don't know, logo.logo. Let's try that. Does not continue, yeah, because we are not exporting anything default, so we cannot import this like this. We need to import this in this way. and if we still want to use default export, but I do not recommend that, and you just use named export instead of default export. But still, if you want that, so you can do with that separate command, because that doesn't support, export doesn't support that. Logo from logo and export default logo, and you can just skip this line. So this is how you can export this logo by default, and then you don't need curly braces over here. I see a lot of beginners to do this error because they don't know they need curly braces or they don't need curly braces. So this is the reason behind that. So whenever you export something like from this file, so when we by default export this function, then we don't need a curly brace. But when we don't write default over here, then we need curly brace there. Okay, is it fine? Oh, let me grab some more water. Okay, let me see the chat. How it's going for you guys? Is it going fine, or I'm going bit too speed? Let me know. Are you guys there, or you just sleeping? Oh, okay, we have 21 people. Okay. So I know I'm not able to create this all in the remaining time whatever we have. It's like in an hour it's not possible to create this all, because we need to do CSS also, but I just covered a few more components. Okay, so this is logo, and they have overreacted. Let's use something else. What name should we give it? Okay, my first YouTube live session. Yeah, we can write a blog about it. Yeah, why not? Okay, we get that. For theme switch, can you explain how we perform theme switch with the code for both dark night theme to whole app? What we need to create to how this will apply? Is there need of Redux to apply modes? No, that is wait Poonam, I will come to that point. Maybe it's sometime soon, but yeah, we need something for that. I don't know if Redux is the choice, but there are a lot of other method as well. We can do that with state also. I think let me do that first. I think it is more interesting to do instead of doing this static components. Okay, so this is component, and let me pass let me do some styling for this. Class name logo, import logo.css, this what I'm doing, padding 30 pixel, font size 32 pixel. Yeah, I think that's good for now. Okay, so now we have white screen, black text. So I just want a theme switcher, so I can switch to dark theme because that's what I like, and most of the people like dark theme. So we want the background to be go black and the text to go white. Okay, so I just have maybe theme prop. We can control that with prop. Let's before that create a component in our home page itself, a button to switch it, and I will create a separate component for that. New file, component, theme switcher. Yeah, that's a nice name. So inside that, similar way, we have theme switcher.js. We'll have index.js, export default as theme switcher from theme switcher. Let's see, this is theme switcher, and instead of div, I will have a button. Toggle theme, class name, theme switcher. Oh, so many theme switcher text I have written everywhere. Okay, so let's do some default styling for the button. I just want a background white, border be 2 pixel, solid black, and font size 16 pixel. Okay, and we need to give some on click method to this, so I will pass for now on click, and inside on click is a event, so we need to pass a function to this. So I will just create an anonymous function for now, and inside that I will just do an alert, change theme now. Okay, just don't do that in production, never, unless you just want to meet your PM so often, then you can do that. Okay, and then we need to import this component also in the home page. So let's import the theme switcher from components, theme switcher, theme switcher. Okay, and just render it below it. Okay, let's see, are we getting it? Okay, we're getting it, but it doesn't get the styles. Oh, why it doesn't get the styles? This is the we haven't imported the CSS over here. Import theme switcher.css. Okay, so this is the button. Oh, it looks so ugly. Setting 10 pixel, 20 pixel. Wow, it's too much. Actually, I want 10 for the top and 20 from the left, right. Okay, it's good to some extent. Let's add a border radius as well. Border radius 5 pixel. Okay, to somewhat extent. Oh, it doesn't have any other cursor point, so just never forget to add a cursor pointer and a hover effect to your buttons, to your clickable items. Never. I just want it to be background. What background should I give it? Let's give it something CCC. Yeah, okay, and just add a small transition also to look good. Transition 0.3s. If you just want me to describe any of the CSS property, just let me know. The transition is basically to add some small amount of animation when you transit from one property to another. For example, here we are switching from background white to background CCC, so it will add an animation over there. We'll just see now. See, you can see a delay between that coming. Let's see, without transition it's look like this. So it's very looks soothing. Okay, let's increase the time and see. You can see it's coming very slowly and going very slowly. CSS not imported. Yeah, thank you, Poonam. But never make it too slow, so your user will sleep. Yeah, okay, I think this is enough. So what we need, when we need to click on this button, it is showing change theme now. Yeah, we need to do it now. To do that, now we need something, and what that something is, now we need props. So first of all, because we want that theme to change everywhere, so we will manage that theme in top of our hierarchy. So for example, homepage is our hierarchy as of now, but if we expand, because it's just one page, so when I move to another page, in that page also I want that theme, so we can move it to app.js. that is our hierarchy of all of the pages, so we can just have that theme over here. Let's see how to create that. Okay, so we need a button. On button click we just need to change theme, so let's create a state over here. Now I'm just going to use a completely different state management way, like what I discussed previously. It's not that, this is with using hooks. So use state is a hook to use state inside a function component without writing a class component, and this is how it works. Is just a hook, and it will accept anything, string, boolean, array, object, and it will give us two variables. One is the state itself, which is theme for us, and another is set theme. Okay, and this one we will be passing to everything, to this home page. We can pass that. I'm just going to do this in the tough way. There are simpler way as well, which we can discuss later. Theme. Okay, and by default, and in this, when we initialize this, we can pass initial state. So for example, I will pass light initially. So now our theme is light. Let's go and see there. So just to check your state, you just need to have React DevTools. How you get it? You will get it with React DevTools extension. I definitely suggest you to have this in your browser so you can debug your applications. And also I just forgot one thing. This is a link of a code pen. So here I will put all of the link that we use. So if you want to see which I'm using, so just go in the description of the video. I already posted this link over there, and I will edit this here, and you can see the update now. So just let me copy this link. Redux DevTools Chrome extension link. Let me update it. Okay, this is the link. You can get it in your this link. Where we are, I just lost it. So many tabs. Let me close that. Let me close this. Let me close this one. Okay, let me close Mine. Okay, I will put my portfolio link also, you can just visit me. Sarab, yeah, that's me. Devtalks links is already there. Okay, this is our application. Let me check some comments. Okay, for theme switch, can you explain how we perform theme switch? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. CSS not imported. Yeah, that's I fix. If we follow the approach to create as many components as we can, and whenever we want it become hard to maintain at some point in future. Is there any design pattern or architecture approach to make the pages and components architecture? Yeah, Jaswinder, that is really a good question. So like Facebook has about more than 1,000 components, so that is why there is a very favorite tool of mine which I like talk about everywhere, that is bit.dev. So you can create a component, you can push it over there. So if you have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 components, you don't need to worry about. You can just have them documented, visually appear here. Let me log into that. Sorry, I'm just jumping to this. So these are my different components. Okay, so this is like a button component. This is what I just created now. So this is a button component from the directory. So you can check here, these are like npm packages. So whereas npm is a complete package, here your every single component can be a package itself. So you can see the code here, you can just make some changes, you can see the output here, and then when you go down you can create multiple examples of that, and it also provide you all of the props it needs. So for example, it requires on click, children, and custom styles. Type is function, any object. You know how to use it. So when you want to use it in your project, so you can install it with npm yarn on bit, simple as that. So this is how you will manage, and this is how you will create your design system, and every single component of your application will be documented and well defined. Anyone knows how it works and how it looks, so they do not need to go into a directory every time and just run through it and just lost it there. Okay, I spent a lot of time there. Let's get back. Okay, so this is theme. Okay, let's go to home page. In home page I got a prop name theme which I will use here because I haven't give any background. I think background is managed by that. Let's see if I give a style, that is inline styling, background black. Yeah, getting homepage.css. I will create a css for homepage also. I'm just creating multiple css files for different components to just let them scoped in that component only, so we do not have end up with a large css file which we cannot maintain. Height, and yeah, that's it. Didn't it get height? Why? Oh, it doesn't get the height. Oh, I haven't given the class name. Wow, I forgot again. Home page, that's the name of the class. It should get it. Okay, so now it is getting that. Okay, so I just want to give a background to this, so it should based on the theme. So if props.theme is equal to dark, then background should be black, else background should be white. Now we get background white, and this is a prop. Theme is a prop coming from app.js. Let's go back to app.js. This is the prop. This is how we pass a prop, similar to HTML. when we create an attribute, so this attribute name called as prop in React.js. Okay, so this theme, let me give it dark. By default it will show black. Okay, and also I will pass another prop to change theme, and inside that I will pass set theme function. So in useState hook you got two variables. First is the value and second is the function to change the value, similar to this dot set state. Okay, and to home page I am passing a prop named change theme, and to that I am passing this function here to bind this with home page. So now this theme switcher, to this theme switcher I will pass another prop which is on click, and inside that I will pass in props dot change theme. So this home page will get this prop and this is passed to theme switch props. So there are so many props, so avoid like, because I don't know now how many props is coming from app and how many props homepage has. So for that we should mention the props homepage should have. So how you mention that? You mention that with homepage dot prop types. Okay, so this is a property of this component where you mentioned your props. Okay, so now we have two props, one is theme and another is change theme, and we also need to mention the value of that. To mention the value of that, there is another package, separate package comes that we need to use, which is import prop types from prop types. Previously it was bundled with React.js, but now it is separate, so we need to import it, and to import that we need to run yarn add the name of the package, paste yarn add prop types. It will install this package, and let me write the code. So we need to type the property of the theme. So theme property is going to be theme is going to be a string, so prop type dot string, and then we need to mention is it a required prop or not required prop. So it is a required prop as of now, so this is how you declare it. And change theme on the other hand will be a prop type dot function, and if it is not required your code can be break, and for that you need to mention a default prop also for that. So for mentioning a default prop you need to mention it here. So I don't need to mention theme here because it is required, but for change theme I need to mention. So change theme is equal to a blank function. I'm just passing an anonymous function. So whenever our parent component who is consuming this component is not providing that prop, it will never break, so it will use this value instead of the undefined. Okay, but as of now it is required, so I will just put is required there. So it is not required, it is not required, that is required. Okay, so now you know that home page need these two props, so whenever you declare it you will pass this, and this property, for example, I just mentioned here. So this documentation is automatically fetched from that. So whenever you mention prop types, it takes from that and create a table here for you automatically. So this is how you know which props you need to pass. Okay, and now let's see. Let's go to theme switcher. Okay, so now we need to replace this alert with props dot on click, and we also need to pass property to this. I just need to pass so this function will have something like this. So it will get the previous state and we just need to toggle that. So previous state, toggle this previous state. Okay, if it is a bit confusing, let me explain it. So whenever we set a state, so for example this is a function, so we always get our previous state as a parameter to that. Okay, so we can use that. So we are getting that parameter and we are just toggling it. And now because we just changed that, I just need to modify this in app.js because I don't want this light and dark. So I will just have it as a boolean, true and false. So it is for dark, so I will put it false by default. So if it is true, then it should dark. If it is false, then it should light. It got hang. Oh no. I don't know, is it, why my system is so slow today? Let me close some Chrome tabs. Okay, come on, come on. I don't know why it is stuck. Okay, it works now. So when the prop.theme is true, then we need black, else we need white. Okay, you see it start working. So I'm toggling my theme right there now, and now I need to change the font color as well. Let's see how we do that. So for that, this logo also need to have the theme property. So let's pass theme to this logo as well. props.theme and props.theme. Oops, sorry, this is props. So here I will have this style, background is props.theme. If it is yes, then we need white, as we want black. Oops, sorry, not background, it's color. Okay, let's try that. Oh yeah, it works. See, so this is how we implemented a theme change, and seems like our button doesn't need that. So it is working great because we have white background and black border. Wow, I'm so proud of myself. Okay, it's yep, so we done with that, and it's almost 1.5 hours. So let's just quickly move to like deployment. Do you guys still have any question till here? Okay, let me deploy this one. and we will create that. We are passing the theme and props again and again for each one. Is there any way to pass it to all once? Yeah, we had. So that is, we can do with that context API, or if you want Redux. I do not recommend Redux for this task only. You can use context API. Sure, maybe I can have a different session for that, but it is, yeah, I know this is prop drilling, so we are just drilling. This is an anti pattern, by the way. You should not do this in this way. So we are just passing prop in one component, then assessing in second, and then third, then fourth. So we should not do this prop drilling. We should use something else. So that something else is Redux in the past. So those are old days. Now we have context plus hooks, so we can make use of that to create functionality like this one. Okay, so maybe I will cover that in next session. If you guys just want, just send thumbs up for context and context versus Redux for another session. So I will do that session maybe next week. So let's continue with deploy. Okay, so let me show you how difficult it is to deploy it. So first of all, we just want this code on GitHub. So I'm pretty much sure you all know about GitHub. If not, then I can't help. You just need to go and just talk to Tarun and JD. They just covered a very great sessions in the past about GitHub, and they covered a lot of stuff, and I do not want to repeat that. When you should aware of GitHub anyway. Okay, Devtalks 06. It's a great one. Okay, let it public repository, repo for all the examples used in the session. I would like to say YT live session. Yeah, that's my first session. I'm really proud of myself. Yeah. Okay, this is the link. I'm just copying the link over here, and to add that to our repo, I need git remote add origin. Paste it. Does it work? No problem. I can do that with this. Okay, it's done. Let's commit that. Okay, I'm not going to see what all the code I did. I'm just going to push it everything. Okay, initial commit for hosting. Did you guys host a website before? Just let me know in comments. Okay, and let's push this. So I'm using the built-in Git tools in this IDE. Ramanpreet is deployed already. Okay, Ramanpreet, what service do you use to deploy it? We are going to use Netlify. Okay, so you need to visit this website, Netlify. I will update that. Here, Netlify to deploy site. So you will get the link. Just log in. You can log in with your GitHub account directly here. Oh great, Ramanpreet already used it. Great. And we need to import a new site from Git. Just click on this button. So it is integrated with GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. So we need to choose which one we had. So we have GitHub as of now. So let's go with GitHub. Yeah, I remember Rajan created some app for coronavirus also. Right? Okay, what is the name? What is the name? Devtalks. Yeah. Devtalks. Okay, I chooses that. Next, the branch is the master. What command? Yarn build. Yes. And the publish directory is build. Yeah, whenever we run this command yarn.build, it will create a new folder build. You can try that on your local as well. And deploy site. That's it. Okay, it start deploying. what benefits we got from Netlify is it's already put CI/CD in place, so we do not need to do any configuration, and whenever in the future we commit anything, a single push, single commit we deploy to master branch, it automatically creates a build to the server, so we do not need to do anything for that. Okay, so let's go to site setting meanwhile to change the name. It has some quirky new man, I don't want that name, so let's have some name. What name should I give it? Theme switcher. Wow, great name. Let's see if that name is available. Yep, it is there. Deploys, it is deployed. Not yet. Go to deploys, it is in progress, it is building, it will take some time. Okay, meanwhile it is taking some time. It's like we take about an hour to create this much of functionality. So then how much time do we take to create something similar to that? Okay, what do you think? Like a day or more than that? Okay, is it deployed? Not yet. Okay, so another thing let's discuss until the time it is deploying. So it doesn't matter like which technology do you use to do something, because at the end when you provide some solution to your client, it should work in all of the browser. The customer should able to use it, so there should not be any errors in that. Like it should be responsive so that they can open in multiple browser as well. So React.js is not, I would say, the only solution to that. There are so many other platforms. Svelte is getting very popular these days, and there is Vue.js, Angular. You can explore those as well. And it's also depends how quickly you provide the solutions. Okay, so our site is live, like in just 5 minutes we get our site live here, so you can see. And whenever I made some change, my version 2.0, I made a text change over here, and I'm going to commit this once again. Logo, that's the change. I don't know why this workspace has some IDE files. Let's not commit that. Change the title. Okay, let's commit this. Okay, done. Push it to the GitHub. Okay, let's see. Okay, it is pushed. Let's see it in Netlify. Okay, it start building. You can see I just make a commit to the GitHub, and it picks up from there the master branch, and it start building that one. Okay, and in the meantime, let me introduce to the Gatsby. Oops, what's the spelling of it? Gatsby.js.org. So Gatsby is a static site generator. If you remember in the beginning, I just showed you my portfolio that I just created with the help of Gatsby. You can see that logo is coming over here. It's with the Gatsby strata, because you know, it takes a time to create something like that. You will take like a day or something. I don't know. So this is where this static site generators really kicks in. So without sorry, let me grab some water. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I feel amazing. Is it deployed? Yeah, it got the new change. Okay, let's come to Gatsby. So it is static site generator. so you will get something set up really quickly. You do not need to, but we just did it, so it's not like I'm not suggesting to not do that, but what we just did, we can just skip that part and we can just easily deploy something. Okay, so we are like planning some session on Gatsby in the future coming sessions, but for now just a small introduction. So let's explore some starters of this one. Starters are some starting packages from where I took a package from my portfolio. There are so many. Okay, you can see this one, Gatsby starter blog. So this is the same as this one, so he used the same one. Let me see if I found something. I don't know, but it is the same one. You can see the UI. Okay, so let's see an example of this. So this is also deployed on Netlify. So you can see you have the same title, author, photo, and the description, and your blocks, right? And so now, how do I get it? So to get this one, you can just see some of the feature it provides. It also have Google Analytics support, code syntax highlightation, a lot of things. Okay, so if I want this on my website, I want to create a blog website like that, I just go here and I can use this button Netlify over here. When I click this, so it will take me to the Netlify, and this Netlify hosting wants me to connect with my GitHub. So you can see this description. First it will connect, and then he will create a new repository on my GitHub with this name, and then it will configure and the site will live. Connect GitHub. Okay, so repository name, whatever I want I can give. So it's Gatsby starter blog, say my personal blog, save and deploy. So that's it. Let's go to GitHub in the meantime, see what's happening over there. Go to my profile. Repository 73. Wow. So you can see this is created already 18 seconds ago, and this is a blank repository. There is nothing here as of now. This site deploy in progress. Let me see the comments in the meantime. So if we are building a large site and want to add dark mode, then we have to give conditional classes to various components of which we want to change style, isn't it? This should be flow, I think. No, whatever I just showed you, this is just to explain how the props working and how we pass functions in props, but this is not the best way at all. So there are many other tools. For example, I mentioned context and Redux, but that is also not required, because there are another CSS in JS solutions. Like I personally like is Reactjs, this one. Let me open that. So they have theming support. You don't need to do anything extra, so you can just use that. Table of contents, you can see this theming. So you just need to wrap your application inside theme provider, and everything you can do with this one. And similar, you have another one. Let me share this link also with you guys. Reactjs bit.dev, should be HTTPS update. And another one is styled components. You guys must hear of that. So this is another CSS in JS solutions. You have emotions, emotions effect, I don't know, yeah, this one, emotions. So there are so many options for that. So where we are, okay, is it deployed? Just let me refresh this one. So you can see it automatically get all of the content, and Gatsby bot is the one who made this commit. Wow, let's go. Okay, so here is my blog, live blog. This is my blog. The GitHub repo is here, and this is my blog. So we just set it up in just few clicks here and there with the help of Gatsby and Netlify. And now this blog is like completely support Markdown. So like WordPress, you just go there and you type your content in rich text editor. You can do that over here itself. So you can just open anyone. We can just see. Let me change the name of this one. So you can see it has component, it has pages. Index.tcx. So bio is the name of the component. src components bio.js, and let's edit that bio. You can do this in editor as well. So I just need to change some text. That's what I'm doing here. Author.name, from where it is coming, it is coming from where it is coming. Use static query. Oh, they have their GraphQL implemented. Okay, I don't think so I can do it from here. It is fetching from some server, maybe. Gatsby GraphQL. Okay, let's discuss that in some time later maybe. So this is you can just change anything you want in here. This is my personal blog. Now I can edit. This is in my GitHub, so I can just make it my code. Let me go and see and read me if there is anything I can change. This is index page. This is the title. Let me just edit this static title. It is coming now. That's why I started blog. Okay, let's put it. This is not this one, I guess. You should follow him on Twitter. Try to test YT and just get this. And when I just edit it over there, it will start building again. Let's see what it changed. I don't know where I just made the change. Okay, that's it for this one. We made this component, changing theme, and let's discuss how we can do this with JSS. Just a little bit advanced concept. So just take an example over here, this button component. Okay, so this button component is using JSS. Okay, and if I need to change something, I have another example of this one here. So what I'm doing here is I'm using Reactjs, and I wrap this inside theme provider, and to that theme we provide one theme, and that we can access anywhere in our component. So for example, this app is the component. Inside that I can use this hook use theme, and it will automatically fetch this theme and put it over there. And then I'm using this color stored sea green. This color is coming from theme, and it is changing the background. If there is some other color, for example dot blue, you can see change to blue. So I just use the theme color over here, and this theme has these colors, and I'm using sea green as of now, and if I change that sea green in my theme, it will update in all of the application. I think I can do a different session on that as well. So just let me know in comments, or you can just maybe comment on this YouTube channel, or you can just reach me out and like DM me on Twitter, so we can discuss this in further details. Yep, that is it. Okay, it is deployed. Let's see what it changed. This got changed, the title of, so I just put it static, so all of these got this title. So you see, now this is ours, we can do anything in our GitHub. So we will explore this Gatsby in more detail in upcoming sessions. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me recap what we covered today. We learned about what is Reactjs. We learned about some concept of it, like state, props, what are components. We use hook also, and we create a theme switcher, and then we see how we deployed a complete blog using Gatsby. Yeah, pretty much it. So I will deploy all of my code, this GitHub repo, and I will update that in that CodePen URL that I just shared. So you can just go into that, you can see what are the changes I did, and maybe we can use this as a reference in our further sessions as well. So yeah, I think that's all for this session. Let me know, guys, if you have any comments or anything else want me to share. Over to you. So what are the latest comments? Yeah, Poonam, we can do that, like making a global CSS, but CSS in JS solutions are much more scalable, and they're made for this purpose only. So they have like theme support, so you don't need to do like this kind of customization yourself. Okay, thank you Ishita. Okay, thank you everyone, thank you for joining. Let me discuss what to do next. 1 minute. So this is the link of the repo, I will share that. And where is our Devtalks organization? Yeah, this is our Devtalks India organization. I created an organization so that we all can collaborate on this. So I will deploy this code into this organization, so we all can make changes into that and contribute into that. So we just get it started today. We just implement just a button and a theme switcher, and maybe we can use this for further sessions as well. So this is it, and once again, this is my website, and you can DM me on Twitter, you can email me, you can follow me on GitHub, and just subscribe to our Devtalks channel as well. We just started it, and this is our just first video, and we are hoping to make this community a better one and have you all on board. So thank you everyone, thank you for your time, have a good day, bye bye.